Okay, I want to try this again. Uh, I'm going to go over my setups on the Graf Zeppelin and the Graf Zeppelin B. I've got some comments and some messages on Facebook asking me about my setup, my commanders, and what I have going on with this. So, first shout out to those Facebook pages that it's helped me tremendously learning the game better and helping me with Commander. So it's a great source. The first one is the World of Warship Legends console. Next one is World of Warship Legends community. And the third Facebook page that I go to a lot is the World of Warship Legends ships and tactics. So I suggest you get a chance to look at those up. They help tremendously. And I post a lot of Big Red Machine. I post a lot of clips. So you could probably just go through some of those Facebook pages and see some of the stuff. I tried doing this video on my setup and tried to show some clips that I have saved with Xbox, but apparently it doesn't let me show that. So I'm going to try to do this video so it's not messed up as much. But I'm going to go over the Graf Zeppelin first. The Graf Zeppelin B I received in a crate during Black Friday or during Christmas. At that particular time, I was really working on my USS Independence at Tier 5. So I hadn't really touched it, didn't really know what I had. And pretty much got where I was ready for the challenge of Tier 7. And just looking at YouTube, Facebook, and just different comments. People just kept talking about how great this ship was and its secondaries. And so, again, it doesn't come out of the crate or you buy it straight up and it's a beast. You really got to put a lot of time and effort and practice with timing and everything else to get it to be where it's pretty stout ship. So the first one I'll go over, Graf Zeppelin. This is my plane build, not the ship build. So everything on it is for me to wreak havoc with my planes. My captain is Hans Geisler, and he is maxed out at 16.4. And you can see I have AA, torpedo damage, torpedo bomber detectability, and of course the torpedo bomber HP. And then this helps with the penetration multiplier and the bomb damage for my citadels. And then I have it set on corkscrew that also helps with the penetration multiplier. If as the more I've got used to this ship and where I need to drop my AP bombs and how to drop them properly, I think the most I've got was 21 or 22 citadels in one match, but I usually average over 10 to 15 a game. My inspirations is 16.4 Tanaka, so when I drop torpedoes, I'm getting a lot of max damage out of that. And then Santos, which I have a 16.3. I get the torpedo damage plus the plane damage, whether it's the bombs or the torpedoes. And then on this particular setup, I'm not really strong on secondaries. Everything's just average for the ship. When I say average for the ship, the ship still has strong secondaries without enhancing them any. But that's my one part that helps on it. But yeah, there's the enhancements on them. Let's go over the ship options that I choose on this one. So the first mod that I have here, the upgrade is the aircraft restoration time. On tier 7, you pretty much got to dump planes at the beginning, so you'll continually have planes throughout the match. That's something I learned from Facebook and YouTube and watching people. The only thing that disappoints me about watching videos on aircraft carriers on YouTube, most of the people that talk about them don't like aircraft carriers, but they've been asked to put a video out, and so I wanted to put a video out from someone who runs aircraft carriers 98% of the time. The other 2% time is me in ranked trying to win steel to upgrade my aircraft carrier. So I love the aircraft carrier. I enjoy playing it. I'm more active in it. So anyway, didn't mean to go down that rabbit hole, but anyway, you got to restore your aircraft. And then what I kind of do is I dump at the beginning, and then depending on how the match is going, I'll sometime run a whole sortie full of the planes that I'm supposed to. Just watching my plane count is really important on it. So just like the map, I will tell you at the very beginning, do not. I know when I first started this, I had people tell me go hide behind the island or go to the back of the map away from everybody. The further you get away from everybody, the less damage you can do. So you've got to be really cautious on where you put your ship, and your ship always has to move. Always. Even if you get to the point where you're going to go to, turn it around. When it gets there, turn it around again, because a still ship is a dead ship. You do not want the planes from the other aircraft carrier on the other team or anybody else to just go off on your ship just sitting there. So you got to constantly move. And you also, I'm sure the big thing is the autopilot sometimes kicks off on its own. It doesn't own. You're doing it with your controller, but you're just trying to get things going. So you got to pay attention to that as well. The next one I have, where I've pretty much pumped up the skip, the dive bombers and the torpedo bombers. Of course, the skip bombers for your Russian aircraft carrier. The next upgrade I have is pretty much for protection, torpedo acquisition range, and the RGA of the ship. So this particular upgrade or modification, the concealment system is protection for the ship, not so much for damage for you to put on other people as well. And then this is the key on both this one, and I'll go over the one on the secondary. But for my plane damage plane, the Graf Zeppelin, I am pretty much the cooldown time for all consumables, and of course the big one is the A damage per second. After I shoot 5 airplanes down, I get 5% more damage from my AA, which by the time you get to the end of the game is going to be huge, especially if there are other teams' aircraft carriers still in it. You're down to 1 to 3 ships, and one of their ships is an aircraft carrier. Their aircraft carrier is going to start coming after you. So by that time, my AA is going to be pretty stout, and I can get a clear sky and more points on it. So that is pretty much my setup for my upgrades and modification. Of course, the Epic Boost costs 500 in steel. The next one is the Legendary, the upgrade on that. Legendary Boost for every 10 all your gun armaments reload times -3 until the end of the battle. So in addition to the damage, the reload is a whole lot quicker. So if I can drop a ship, it's gonna get crazy. So about I gotta get 1873 to get it. So my A is really gonna take. And by the end of the match, your planes are starting to run out. So it's real important you have strong AA to protect you if their aircraft carrier is still in the game. And so to be honest with you, I've been playing for a year and a half, and I just learned about these mods that you can do on these. So it's been a game changer. So I didn't see this, and then accidentally came across it and just started researching and found out, and really been going after it. So that's it. My specs, as you can see, I'll show you the aircraft where I've pretty much jumped on my hit points. The bomb damage up 333, armor penetration up to 352.8. My restoration on that one is 6 seconds, which is a long time. I mean, it's not a long time. It really makes a huge difference. My torpedo bombers up is huge for 2891 up from 2450. Detectability range now is at 9 instead of 10. Max simulation damage, pretty much if I can get all 3 of my torpedoes to hit at one time, I'm getting about between 5,000, 5,088, depending on how much the ship they have set up for protection. But pretty much when all three hit, I'm going to get about 15,000 in damage the first time through, which helps me hurry up, gets to the 30,000, which then my A becomes more effective. Everything's like a domino effect, but you got to get that damage quick. So I pretty much take 2 torpedo runs at the beginning, get close around around 25,000, and then I find me a cruiser with my citadels, get a citadel or two, and I'm sitting at 30,000 with probably 10 to 12 minutes left in the match. Again, there's my restoration on the airplane. So as you can see, it's plane heavy for damage is set up on it. And secondary, you'll see here, I'll show you just in comparison when I show you my secondary Graf Zeppelin B. The firing range is 5.5, but my reload time, because I'm using Santos, oops, sorry about that, is 3 seconds on it. And then the shell damage is a little stronger, not heavy, but 1240, anything helps. But pretty much my secondaries on this build is pretty much for protection if a destroyer gets close. Most people now who know what they're doing with destroyers stays away from the Graf Zeppelin. So for me to have success and help my teammates win, I've got to get a lot of damage with my planes, not so much the secondaries. But you can see how that's plane heavy, how I did it with first the captains and inspirations, and then managing the slots to upgrade it. And that's pretty much, usually I try when I have these ribbons, the boosters, I try to use this one. I just get more what's the word I'm looking for, because I cause more damage with this setup than I do with the secondary one, and so I just get more points, and these bust up for me to get other things later on. So that's pretty much the Graf Zeppelin. I jump back and forth with it. I enjoy it. Get a lot of damage. Let me show you what I did with it today before I did the video. This one is with the Graf, yeah. And I'm sitting at 157,361. You see I got 16 citadels, 15 torpedoes on it. And then what's that? 28 bombs were dropped out of the 28, 16 turned into citadel. So that's where my plane damage. And comparison, this was the Graf Zeppelin B, which is secondary. I have 9 citadels, so a little bit of a drop off, 17 torpedoes. But you see a lot of my damage came from my secondaries at 67, which is a low amount, but most of them were on the 2 destroyers, and one of them I was pretty maxed out, so it didn't take long to drop them. Only shot down 3 planes, didn't get a lot, but the fire comes from the secondary. So you can, the difference I'm trying to show you is the difference in the citadel and the torpedoes with the way it's built on it. So not a big difference, but usually on this one, this was a pretty good game with my secondaries. I'm usually between 80 to 100,000 average a game on my secondary setup, and then on the Graf Zeppelin, which is plane heavy, I usually average around 100, 120. These were both 2 pretty good games I had with those, but that's kind of the comparison on them. I'll go over real quick the setup on the Graf Zeppelin B. You know, I enjoy playing both of them, but I just love the secondary. I just really enjoy playing it. So as you can see, I have a battleship commander running my aircraft carrier. Again, I picked that up through somebody in Facebook mentioned it. So I said, well, I'll give it a try. So, and this is why. Of course, the strong AA, but he has all the other slots are all towards secondary. the range, the grouping, the dispersion. This one is the damage and the causing fire. And then this one, again, reload time, the duration, the dispersion, and the survivability. So very strong on it. And then my inspirations are, again, secondary gun range and the shell grouping. And then in this setup, I got the Haruna. Again, it gives me the range and the battery dispersion. So with him, the way he's set up with the secondary and then these inspiration, it's really, really secondary heavy. And I will now go over my setup with it. And this one, you've got the secondary battery firing range plus 10, minus 10. So it's all secondary. And this upgrade modification is the battery firing range again plus 20%. Use it. Come to this one. This one again is more defense than offense, but I use this one so I can pretty much detect as things are coming, especially when I get into close encounters with the destroyers. And then the very last one, which is the most important, kind of talked about, I had on the Graf Zeppelin. This is the B. I have picked the secondary battery mod. The epic boost is 500 steel, and for every 30,000 damage, you get a 5% increase on your reload time. By the end of the match, when those destroyers try to come get you, I'm sitting at 4 times. Usually, because by then I've built up from 30,000. My strategy, and again, I'm open to anybody if anybody's got any suggestions, is I try to get as much damage as I can at the very beginning with torpedoes and citadels. Pretty much targeting battleships with the torpedoes and the citadels on the cruisers. The citadel bomb, the AP bombs do absolutely hardly anything to the destroyers, but I really use those to spot the destroyer, especially when I got a feeling they're getting into my secondary range in that 10-kilometer area. If I hit them, fine. If I don't, I'm not worried about it. I just put them over them, and then I switch to the ship and pretty much spotting the ship for myself, or just get a general idea. But again, if I can drop a ship early in the match, then my legendary boost jumps, and then now when my secondaries do go off, I get more damage from them. So this is huge. This is something that I didn't know much about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and really made it's a game changer difference. So that's kind of my setup on the secondaries. So really, if you're going to go secondary, go all out. You could, if you only have one, maybe mix it up a little bit with the captains, and then you can do secondaries on this. I'll go to the specs, and you can see now the difference in the aircraft. Average, when I say average, they're average, but they're still pretty stout on it. So that's about it on it, because I really, between my captain as a battleship captain and my inspirations all about secondary, my biggest thing is it didn't go backwards. It stayed where initially it needs to stay. And they're still pretty potent, but here's where you'll see a huge difference. The secondary. That's how much it's jumped. When I get Celiac to 16.4 and Haruna to 16.4, what I've read and heard, I'm pretty much going to have this jump from 9.6 to either 9.9 or right at 10. And that's going to help the secondaries. And not only that, the secondaries are going to be accurate, and they're going to still cause a lot of damage at that range. The reload time, nearly 2 seconds. Shell grouping, everything is green. Everything is stronger. And it's only going to get stronger because I have 2 more captains to upgrade to 16.4. But the dispersion is just unbelievable, as you can tell. And then the damage, the fire setting chances, and then the next set of secondary armaments, just huge. I mean, that goes from 5.5 to 9.6, but that's pretty big on the reload time in seconds. And then again, the dispersion is nuts. Maximum HE shell damage is up to 1885. Fire setting chances up over 10% again. So it's huge. It makes a difference, and that's why this ship is so dangerous with its secondaries. Don't get too excited like I did when I started getting this, and I'm just running my aircraft carrier up and just getting smashed. It's really all in timing and what you need to do with your secondary. So if I got a cruiser or a destroyer that's pretty much out on their own and they're trying to sneak around and get a cap or leave them, I might rush them to get to them, but I got to be careful that there's not a sniper battleship too far behind that can take me out, and then I've just lost for the team and they lost our aircraft carrier. A defense is a whole lot better. As you can see, that's huge. Average damage per second. So pretty strong A defense even with that. So maneuverability, it's an aircraft carrier. Concealment, it's an aircraft carrier. Be smart, read the map, don't stay still. You should be okay. Just read your other ships that are on your team. You're getting smashed, get the heck out of there. If they're starting to roll up on them, give them protection with your planes as well. So it's all in how things are progressing in the match. So trying to think I forgot anything. My Graf Zeppelin is the plane heavy that I explained, and then the Graf Zeppelin B is the secondary. Played well both with some good teammates. You can pretty much get over 100,000 damage with either one of them. And then just whatever you prefer. I just jump back and forth because I like both. I love the ship. I love playing with the ship. I love playing aircraft carriers. But like with any of them, you got to put the time in. You got to work. You got to grind. And then sometimes you got to open the checkbook because they don't just come out of the crate and be strong or be effective, because there are some very skilled players out there that even with these ships modified, strengthened and stuff, can still take you out. So just, I enjoy the build as much as I do the playing. So, but if you got any questions, just leave a comment. I'm on Xbox, Big Red Machine. Nothing different. It's had it since day one. Xbox came out over 20 something years ago. I'm on those 3 Facebook pages I just told you about. World of Warship console, World of Warship tactics, and then the community, World of Warships community. And I post a lot of videos on there. And those that don't like aircraft carriers, or actually the fleet I'm in, there was a guy that joined and he hates aircraft carriers so much that he left our fleet because he didn't want to be in a fleet with an aircraft carrier. There is a lot of hatred out there for them, but they're effective. And I see why people don't like them so much, because if you don't know what you're doing with an aircraft carrier, you're a hindrance to your team. You're going to get wiped out. But you give me somebody who knows how to run an aircraft carrier and people who know how to run destroyers, you're going to win 90% of your matches. That's just from my experience in playing. So any questions or anything else, these are my 2 Graf Zeppelins tier 7. My independence is all maxed out in tier 5. That was where I grinded learning aircraft carriers, and now I've been the Haruku and Legendary, still learning it, but I just enjoy playing this ship, and I'm excited about the new German aircraft carrier coming out for Legendary 2. And so I just keep building these captains. Another key to it is captains. Build your captains. If you want to really get your aircraft going, quit using your money, your resources, and upgrading captains that have nothing to do with the aircraft carrier. Because an average captain makes an average ship, no matter how good the ship is. So that's my final opinion on that. Agree, disagree, it's okay. I'm going to post them on those. I'm going to post a link. This is on Twitch, but I'm going to move it over to YouTube. I have a YouTube video, and I'm going to post them to the the Facebook pages. So anybody's got any questions or anything else like that, they can ask me in the comments. I just hope everybody can enjoy these suckers as much as I do. And and see less hate, and just enjoy the game, man. Whatever, toot your horn, just enjoy it and be nice to people. And if you get your butt whipped, they're just better. You just got to get better. Again, thanks for watching. Hope this helped. Just shoot me over any comments or questions if you have any. Thanks.